Welcome to the Optimize Your Business and Your Life podcast for high-achieving entrepreneurs. Each episode will share strategies to help you create a highly profitable business and life you love. And now, your host, 2016 International Coach of the Year, Stacey Hylen.
Hi, I'm Stacey Hylen. I am your host for Optimize Your Business and Your Life. Welcome to our new season. I'm very excited with what we have in store for you. If you are a successful entrepreneur who wants to scale your business without the hustle, you are in the right place because that's what we're going to do. So in today's episode, we are going to talk about how to launch without feeling icky. Now, you might think, well, that's not really a technical term, but I'm seeing this come up so much with my coaching clients that they are struggling in launches because they feel like they're being pushy. It feels icky. It doesn't feel good to them. So one of my clients who's in the middle of the launch was struggling with the fact that she felt like she was being too pushy. Now, the funny thing about most clients, if they think they're being too pushy, is the fact that those are not the people that are pushy that worry about feeling pushy. So the people that are worried about it are usually the people that are more shy. They might be a little nervous. It might be a little new for them. They might be lacking confidence because they haven't done a lot of launches, even though they're really good at what they do. So I put together some coaching for her. She was on the Voxer with me, asking me some questions. And so I want to help you overcome this mindset block that you might have about launches. So first of all, one of the things to know about online launches is that they have a dead spot in the middle, right? So everybody thinks that the launch is going to be, you hit the ground running with a big opening launch and people sign up, and then it just keeps going up and up and up and up and up and up and up, right? Until you close your launch. And that is not what happens. Usually in a launch, you're going to have, when you open your launch or your cart, you're going to have people sign up right away. Now, this is really exciting because it gives you some proof of concept. You feel good about it. It's fun. But what happens is you get in that icky middle part, right? The middle part is where most people get really nervous about. They start losing sleep over it. They're like, should I cancel this? Is this even a good product? Is this going to work? And what I have to tell you is this is the time that you need to lean in. You need to lean into your launch and really keep going, right? It's all in the mind right at that point, right? And so what I want you to do is make sure that you put some, energy into that launch in the middle of the launch. And what happens is a lot of people, that icky part comes and they lose their energy, they lose their enthusiasm for the launch. And so knowing that happens, that there is that little soft dead spot in the middle and that it's normal, it happens to all. You could be the most famous marketer, internet marketer in the world and still have a quiet spot in the middle of your launch, okay? So most of the sales are going to come on the last day and even up to the last minute of the deadline. So put some reasons into your marketing for people to take action now, like early bird pricing, bonuses, and things like that. That'll help to have more sales towards the beginning of the launch. Now, what I'm going to share with you today are 3 ways to help you get over that ick factor that you might be having when you're in the slower period of your launch in the middle. All right. So first of all, you need to shift yourself from selling to serving during the launch. How can you help your client? How does this product or program help your prospect or client? So what I want you to do is really identify, before you've even done the launch, you should know exactly who your perfect client is. Who is the client that this product or service is really going to help? Then what I want you to identify is, what are the problems that they're struggling with? Why are they signing up for this program? What do they want to solve? What do they want to move away from? Now, with my work with Tony Robbins, he always talks about people do things for one of 2 reasons. And that is that they're moving away from pain or they're moving towards pleasure. And so what's happening is in that launch, you're going to talk about their pain points that they're experiencing, but you want to show them how they can move towards the pleasure, what they want, what their goal is, what their dream is. So this is a mindset shift to go from selling to serving. And then you want to look at what are their goals, what are their wants, what are their dreams that you're going to help them realize. And this is a great exercise. Like, don't just listen to this right now. Get out your piece of paper and write down, like, what are my clients' problems and challenges? And what are their goals and wants and dreams? And what is that future that they wish they could have if you could wave your magic wand, right? So when I started selling, I really had a problem with the selling factor. So what happened is I had been selling since I was in third grade, and I started selling stationery door to door to the neighbors. I bought it at wholesale and sold it at retail, and I sold poinsettias, I sold hoagies. I was selling B2B when I was in fifth grade. So sales was not a problem. I went and I was the second highest salesperson in a Google 500, an Inc. 500 company, Fortune 500 company. And what happened was when I shifted from selling somebody else's products and services into selling my own products and services as a coach, it really put me in that icky zone. I felt like I was being pushy. And when people said no, I really took it to heart, and it felt horrible, right? And so a lot of times when you're in the middle of a launch, you go into that icky spot because it's not selling somebody's doodads. It's selling your product or service that you put all of your knowledge into, your time, your energy, all of that. And so when people say no, it hurts more, right? So what I want you to do is really connect with the fact, and this is what was the key for me, is that I wasn't pushing people to buy. I was helping people. I was serving them. Now, when I used to do workshops on this same topic, what we found is that when I asked people about their opinion of sales, they said, "Oh, it was icky. It was hard. It was forcing. It was challenging. It felt hard and unnatural." And I asked the same people, "What is your description of serving?" Right? And they were like, I love serving. That's what I do naturally. It's so much fun. It's it's helping people, it's giving, it's all of that. Everything was good. Everything was positive. And you can hear just in my voice, if you're listening or if you're watching, that the lightness and energy was there in their voice, in their being, when they're talking about serving versus selling. So this is why I want you to look at the problems your perfect clients are struggling with, and what their goals and their wants and their dreams are. Because what it's going to help you do is it's going to help you make that mindset shift that you're going to go from selling or pushing into serving your prospect that's going to turn into your client. You are helping them, and that's going to help you keep up your energy. If you do not make a good effort to launch and promote and do the marketing and stay out there in front of them, they're not going to get the help they need with their problem. They're not going to, now they might still hit their goal. They might still solve their problem. But if your product is the right fit for these perfect clients, then it is your duty to make sure that they know about it so that they can make that shift for themselves. Okay. So shift yourself from selling to serving whenever you're doing your marketing, especially during that dead spot. Second, remember that even though you are obsessed with your launch, it's not top of mind for your buyer or your prospect, right? So we feel like, you've heard of the reticular activating system, which is that part of your brain that if you see for example, we're looking at a Subaru, right? And all of a sudden, now all the cars you see are Subarus everywhere, because your brain is saying, oh, we need to pay attention to Subarus, right? Now, you're thinking that everybody's seeing your launch because obviously it's in your feed, because if a person likes it or comments on it, it's going to pop up in your feed higher. But the chances are that your buyer or your prospect is not seeing your marketing. How many times have you seen an event, maybe online or in person, and people post the pictures, they post some post-event information online, and you're like, oh, how did I not know about that? The person promoted it, but you didn't see it, right? So you don't want to be in that spot that people didn't see your marketing because you didn't market enough, right? You might feel like it's too much, but they are not seeing or noticing everything that you're sending out. Trust me on this. What happens is with my clients, I will follow my clients on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn, all the places, right? So I want to see my clients pop up in my feed. I want to see what they're doing. And even though I am tuning into them and I'm liking and commenting on their posts, they're not all showing up for me. I'm not seeing everything, right? So you need to be omnipresent. You need to be on all the platforms that your future clients are using, and multiple times per, I know you're thinking I'm going to say week, but multiple times per day. You need to be out in front of them. Remember, you are not selling, you're serving them. And I'll give you an example here. So one of my daughters needed to go to the eye doctor. And so I was like, okay, I'm going to get an appointment for the eye doctor. And it was nighttime, so I couldn't call the eye doctor right then. So this is maybe your client. Maybe they saw your thing, but they didn't have their credit card available, or they weren't on their computer, or they were going into a meeting, right? So you have to remember that people are distracted and they can't always take action right away. So my daughter said, call and get me an eye doctor appointment. And I made myself a sticky note and I put it on the counter. Now, here's what happened. Even though I wanted to make my daughter an eye doctor appointment, that sticky note went from like the counter to on top of a cupboard to, my office, right? So that it was right there on my computer when I opened it up in the morning. So I knew you better do this, right? So even though I wanted to make a doctor appointment for my daughter, even though it was semi top of mind because it wasn't urgent, I still struggled to take that action, to go follow through, to click through. And obviously click through means on the telephone in this case. But what that means is that your prospects, your clients, they're the same. They are distracted. You are not top of mind with them. Even though this launch means everything to you because you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have a big launch. This is going to make my month. This is going to make my quarter. It is not the top of mind for them. So be omnipresent on all of the platforms and make sure that you send multiple emails that you're reminding. Okay, so the third thing to do. Now, this is something that people resist a lot, but it's to send more emails than you think you need to. So one of the things that happens is people start to, you script out all of your emails for your launch and your promotion. And then you're like, maybe it's too much. People are unsubscribing, right? Unsubscribing is not a bad thing. No, it can be unnerving because you're like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard for these subscribers. But if people are unsubscribing from your launch, it means that they're not the right fit for you. So it's okay. Just let them go, bless them and release them, right? We want the perfect clients for you and your business that are wanting to pay you, they're willing to invest, and they love you. They love everything you do. And then what happens is once you start to get these perfect clients in your business, when you do a launch, you'll find that your perfect clients will sign up right away, even sometimes without even knowing what it is or too much about it. And I've done this in the past when there's somebody that I've bought things from, when they have something else that comes out, it's like, yes, I want this, right? So make sure that you are doing enough emails to stay in front of them so that they see it. Because this happened to me, that people that I was buying things from, they did another launch and they were in my spam box. They were in, and even though I kept putting it in my Gmail inbox, it kept going in my spam, right? And these things are happening to your prospects as well. So you want to be, like I said, omnipresent. So you're not just relying on email, but you're making sure to send enough emails. So sending more emails than you think you need to. So even if people are unsubscribing in that messy middle of the launch, that flat part, that's when you want to lean into your launch and say, okay, what is it that this prospect or future client needs to hear to sign up for this program? What is it, again, going back to their problems and their goals and dreams, what is it that they're struggling right now that this could be the answer to? What are the unanswered questions that they might have that I could send an email about, right? So I want you to brainstorm on all of these things and send emails with different wants and desires, different problems that they're solving, and then also different things to answer their questions, right? Because it's interesting, because years ago I signed up for a mastermind with one of the, Russell Brunson, with one of the top marketers in the world. And I remember going to the first mastermind meeting, and I asked a few of the other people there, I said, what made you really jump into this? What was the thing that you're like, take my money? And different people said different things. And here's why. Because different pain points and different goals and dreams are going to talk to different people. So that's why you need to send more emails than you think you need to, because you want to hit on the pains and problems, and you want to hit on the goals and the wants and the desires that they have, because different things are going to really speak to different people. And it was so clear because he had done some videos with different people doing testimonials and talking about it. And I had really connected with one of the people on there, and other people connected with different people on there. So here I thought this video was so good and so clear and made it really like, oh my gosh, this is what I need to do. And the other person thought this other video made them want to do it. So send more emails than you think you need to, and don't give up at the end. So at the end, what I want you to do is make sure you're sending the day before, reminding them that the launch is going to close, the bonuses are going away. Give them a reason. Remember I said that? Give them a reason to buy right now before the end. And then send it the day of the closing of the cart. Send it in the middle of the day. Send it in the evening, and then give it an hour before, or even 15 minutes before you close the cart, that you let them know that this is going away, this is closing, so they can get in, they can solve their problem. Because if they don't get in, you're not serving them, right? So those are the three things. So shifting from selling to serving, of how you can help your client. The second thing is, get top of mind with your buyer. Even though you're obsessed, they're not obsessed. You need to be omnipresent. And the third thing is send more emails than you think you need to. So if you need more help scaling your business without the hustle, like and follow, because we're going to have more great episodes like this. And remember, don't just learn, implement.